Hi everyone. Let's understand one project, Swift transfer or international remittance. This is the one of the my favorite project. This is where I started my career in international remittance. So one of the student asking if I can create a video about related to uh, PACS 008 XML or Swift transfer international remittance. So I thought maybe this is very high level just to understand what's happening behind the scene. Okay. So this is the high level flow. A customer want to send money to a different receiver in a different country, international transfer, right? So here you see this flow, the customer, this is our client, using the mobile app or like directly go to the bank and asking to send money. So for example, John wants to send money from Canada to his cousin or friend Raj to India. So this is a use case, right? So John sent money from Canada. This is one of the Canadian banks. So let's say John go to Royal Bank of Canada, RBC. So RBC create a file we call a Swift transfer message, and Raj Bank is in India, ICICI Bank receive this message, and Raj get credit to his bank account, right? So let's understand how these payments are processed and how uh, different international banks talk each other and giving customer credit to their account. Okay, so this is a huge topic, capital market project. Many business analysts, QA testers, and developers work on Swift ISO to 222 migration projects. So the pacs.008 message is basically the new XML version of the old MT1003 payment message used for international wire transfers. You heard for international transfer, wire transfer, remittance is all referring to the same. Okay. So you heard different money transfer method, right? Email money transfer. Um, Olden days, this is I'm talking about um, inside India, like RTGS, real-time gross settlements, NEFT, NEFT transaction. So these all bank-to-bank transactions. Um, so let's understand as a business analyst what you should know before you go to a business analyst interview. Okay. So this is the same example we are talking. Imagine you want to send money to your cousin in another country. Think like ban, but why we need to use XML? That we are coming up. Okay. So, but banks are like robots. Robots do not understand normal sentence very well, right? So bank use a special language called XML. So we can first we understand what is this XML, right? So just go to Google and type here. So XML stands for extensible markup language. It is a safer way how financial institute communicate, right? So it's a universal text format used to store and transport data. Unlike HTML, which is designed to display data, XML is designed to describe, organize, and share data so that different applications and system can easily read it, right? So if you want to learn XML, so there is a good resource, W3 School. Just go through. It's very self-understandable. You can go through and learn. But we will just cover whatever is required for this international remittance. Okay. So so banks are using transfer um, financial institution related customer transaction related data exchange using XML files, right? So you see, um, send $50 from John to Raj, this case, right? So how these are packed in XML file? You see, sender is John, receiver is Raj. amount is $50. So it's readable, right? So what are those symbols, right? You can see here less than or greater than these symbols, these are called like tags. So think of the tag is like a big label, right? So here you see sender, receiver, amount. So these values are inside the tags, right? So name. So what does it mean? Like we are just giving hey computer, the name start from here, right? So here you see, right? Imagine like John gives money to bank A, right? From our case, rolled RBC. Mm, Bank A talks to Bank B. So this case is Raj Bank, ICICI in India, right? So Bank B gives money to Raj, right? So Bank A send a money message. So bank has to give instruction to the ICICI, right? The RBC has to give instruction to ICICI Bank. So that money message is pacs.008. It's just a format, okay? Um, so you see this one, money message from John, right, to Raj, money, $100. So this simply means John sent $100 to Raj. So real bank version looks like bigger. Bank need extra details, right? Which bank, which country, which currency, what account, what time, transaction ID. There are so many details required. So the XML becomes large, right? So why this is a real life analogy. So think like XML is like a lunchbox with stickers. So lunchbox has different label, right? Fruit, we have apple, oranges, watermelon. Drink, we have juices, right? Snack, we have cookies. So XML is like a snack box, lunchbox, right? So these stickers help know what is inside. So bank use XML stickers for payment information. So this is one use case. Even check deposit also, banks are sending the secure way to clear using XML, right? Data exchange between happening using XML files. So XML is a special label language computer used to talk each other in a secure way without any confusion. So you understand that way, right? So ISO 222 PACS.008 is an XML based financial message used by banks to transfer customer payment information between financial institutes, right? So this PACS 008 message is basically the new XML version of the all MT103 payment message used for international wire transfer. So this is the new version. Okay, so simple understand think like this the old version all. So it MT103 new ISO 222 pacs.008 this fixed text format the old version. I still remember how we create Swift message on the bank letterhead. So here now all XML in XML format. Limited data, rich structured data, hard to validate, easier to validation, right? So these are all new benefits, right? So what is PACS 008 mean? Financial institute to financial institute, meaning a bank send money to another bank on behalf of a customer. So customer in Canada send money to India. RBC send instruction to ICICI Bank. SWIFT network carries this XML file, PACS.008. So main XML structure is like this, right? So you see um, kind of these are the structure. So important sections, right? Every route like has an important section, right? Contain message ID. We'll take a look what is message ID. Creation date, you understand, right? Number of transactions, settlement info. So it's not sending one transaction, okay? So that's why you see number of transactions here. So like example, so every communication, think like it's like a email, right? Like every message has a unique identifier so that bank can track, right? And the date, number of transaction and group header. So second one, credit transfer transaction information. So this is the actual payment contains sender, creditor, debitor, receiver information, amount, currency, bank remittance info. but these all included here. Okay, so I'm not going to board with this sample message with. I'll just quickly here different section. You can see this the header, right? The message unit ID, date and number of transactions. So these are the payment detail. Okay, these are the currency detail and the who is the sender, which is the debtor. Um, and other information, who is the character detail, Rajkumar, and you see other details, right? Most important, message ID, right? The date creation, instruction ID, end-to-end tracking ID, transaction ID, different terminologies there. It's very easy. You don't need to memorize. You don't need to create anything, right? So just understand the data, what data. If you go to the front end, right, like what information required to send money, that's it, right? So these are all system generated. So as a business analyst, you just need to know what data is collected from the front end. What are the data packed here, right? Like how the communication is happening, right? So this mapping, some banks or few banks, they're asking the mapping, right? So mapping you can understand. So you see the existing one, transaction reference, which is the message ID. Any given transaction, right, in banking of there's a reference ID. So that we call as a message ID. Amount, you understand, right? Interbank settlement amount, ordering custard data, right? So you have to understand this terminology. That's it's very easy. It's not a big thing. Beneficiary credit, so different terminologies using different versions. So you have to understand remittance, remittance info. So real-time industry cross-border payment reporting, CBR, CBPR, UETR, unique end-to-end transaction. So before you apply your job, right? So you have to make sure if these keywords are there. So you have to familiarize with this keyword, right? So it's nothing but it's very easy, guys, right? Imagine with the use case, it's very easy. So uh, if you are hearing XST, so that's a XML schema definition. XML schema means there is how the data is organized. You see, right? Different object. We have creditor, debtor, payment information, and everything, right? But so second one, you see different type of files are there. Customer payment, once the payment is initiated, this format, credit, customer credit transfer, payment status report, payment return. So if you have worked this kind of any other project like a check transfer or integration between different multiple institutions, uh, easy to follow, but if you are starting as a beginner, it's not a big thing. You can understand the flow easily. So these are different. Think about different type of payment, right? Like files, right? Once you transfer, you get a confirmation. Once they accepted, you get a different answer, right? It's all automatically. You don't need to do anything, but you need to understand when you're capturing requirement. So you may have to test it in the sandbox. You have to capture this one, right? So so you see there is these are all examples. I'll bypass this one, payment instruction. See, let's understand some question. Okay. So you see, this is the same payment. John Smith, the customer, Rajkumar is the receiver. Sender bank has on SWIFT or BIC code. This the receiver bank has on one ICIC bank and the amount invoice payment stuff, right? So different banks are different SWIFT code. You already know. So you have to understand different terminology. Um, Debtor means sender, creditor receiver. Okay, agent mean bank, like debtor agent, sender bank, creditor agent, receiver bank. It's very easy, guys. Okay, so let's understand some. Let's go through some question. Test our knowledge. Okay, what is XML? XML is the way to organize information using label call tags, right? Like I'm not asking this explanation, but if you want to give this explanation, that's fine. But always try to understand how you can explain through your project, right? So don't need to give technical explanation. So this is good enough. Okay. What is ISO 222, ISO 200. This is the standard, right? You have different product, different payment and everything. There is ISO standard code. So ISO 222 is a global banking messaging standard used for payment and financial communication. So bank use it to send payment information, a structured XML format. Okay. So example, SWIFT payment, wire transfer, bank statement, right? So what does it in pacs.008? pacs.008 is ISO 222 XML message used for customer credit transfer between banks. Simple meaning, one bank send money to another bank, right? So this is a file format. So RBC send $1,000 to ICICI Bank for customer Raj. This one example. What does pacs.008 stand for, right? Financial institution, the FIT of customer credit transfer, right? Financial institution, customer credit transfer, right? What is the difference between MT103 and pacs.008, right? So this is also format, new XML format, text-based, the old one, MT103, XML-based, limited data, rich structured data, right? So this is just an example. What is a tag in example? Tag is a label used to identify the data, right? So amount, you see, amount tag value. What is the root element? The main top level XML tag, right? So that's the root. You can see in every XML file, there is a root, right? So root start here. Everything stays inside the root element. So you'll be hearing this keyword root element, right? What's the data DBTR in pacs.008, right? Answer determine the who is the sender. It's a sender or customer sending money, right? You can see data, our case, name John Smith. What's a creditor? Like a recipient, receiver, beneficiary, different terminology we are using, but you have to focus on what's used in XML inside the bank, right? Creditor means the creditor, it's the receiver, customer, beneficiary, recipient, who is getting the money, simple term. So our case, Raj Kumar is receiving the money. What is the BICO code? A unique code that identifies the bank. So every bank has a unique suite. So if you're wondering how to get, you can go to their website, or you can find out easily on the website, or you can call customer care. You can find out this one. You don't need to memorize anything. Okay, so these are just a unique code for each bank. What is the interbank settlement amount? So interbank settlement amount, it shows the payment amount, right? How much the beneficiary should get. Meaning here our case 100,000 USD. What is the currency code? It's self-explanatory, three-letter code representing money type. You don't need to remember anything. But if you are working on this type of project, yes, wherever your service, other bank area, like multiple countries, you have to remember the currency code which you are using the mapping, right? What is the message ID? We talk about unique message identifier to track bank messages. What's the end-to-end ID, unique ID used to track payment from sender to receiver, right? What is XST? XST means XML schema definition. It validates whether XML structure is correct. Example, mandatory fields exist. Is the currency code exist? Is the data name is exist? Correct format used, correct tag sequence. Okay. What happens is XML is invalid. The payment can fail or get rejected. So this self-validation will happen before process this payment. Okay. It may cause this rejection, right? So, but always it validates before it passes it to the other bank. What is the validation? ISO 222, checking whether XML follows banking rules. For example, mandatory fields, valid currency, is the SWIFT code or BIC code exit, proper XML structure. So we talk about PAT. What is the PACSC receiver 2? A payment status message. It tells whether payment succeeded, failed, and pending, right? So these all after transfer the file. Payment accepted, payment accepted. It's the same thing type of it. What is remittance information? Payment notes or reason for payment, right? Invoice payment, what we are sending, money is sent for invoice payment. So I think we answer initially we were looking answer for this question. So this is a simple flow, customer, Here in this example, it's a mobile app, but any kind of remittance. This is the basic format is using process this our. So bank system, create the XML backend, and so it network send to receiver bank, receiver gets money. Okay. I hope you have some clarity now. So please let me know if you need more information on this one. Okay. Thank you.